Oh, hey.
I'm back. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hello, I'm Foxy Grandpa. If you've been watching these in order, um, I do realize it's been 2 months instead of 1 month. Things took some time, but I'm back just in time for spooky season. And if you're watching this like binge style or you're new, don't worry about it. Nothing happened. So I'm very excited to commence this October season with all of my favorite like spooky, well, this week certainly spooky adjacent movies. Um, for yeah, one of my favorite months of the year. Um, Today we're going to be talking about Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, 1988, a personal hero and icon of mine. I am so excited to talk about this movie. If you'll excuse me for a second, I'm gonna go block my eyebrows, tuck back my wings, and yeah, I'll see you in just a second.
And welcome. So this is the Krylon TV paint stick I usually use for the base foundation. Anyway, so we're talking about Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. For those of you who don't know, I guess her birth name is Cassandra Peterson. She originally started as like a host on an LA TV station, I think, hosting like a B movie presentation, and her fame kind of grew from there. Fun fact, the character of Elvira was created when she, I think, did a bunch of like training at the Groundlings, which is interesting. But yeah, anyway, so this is her big, like, the height of sort of Elvira mania, if you will, when this sort of comes out. I think she had like a national TV show or something at that point. Very popular. Sponge. So anyway, I specifically remember seeing this movie as like a kid. I forget, had to be like between like 7 and 10 or something. And my mom really hated Elvira, and I remember secretly being like, this is the person I want to be when I grow up. So yeah. So anyway, this movie, she essentially plays herself. We open, she's hosting a a series, like basically a TV show where they show old B movies, which is, what she does. So, she does it, performs very well at it. I do want to note that, like, this is not exactly like a horror movie. It says like it's comedy horror in all the descriptions of it, but like it's really just like a comedy. There's nothing. It's like the way that, like, I guess if you consider Addams Family horror, it's like that. But so yeah, very family friendly if you're not offended by boobs. Anywho, like my mom was. But anyway, so yeah, there's a new station owner. She won't sleep with the station owner because he's a fucking sleazebag. She quits / gets fired. Apparently she's got a show that she's about to host in Las Vegas, but then she gets a call that she needs $50,000 to finance it. We're setting up the whole plot here, right? But then, like, I guess, like, she has like this uncle or something, or no, this great aunt rather, who dies. And she's gonna get an inheritance, so woo! So she's gonna fly to this little small town, I believe in like Massachusetts, or actually I think she drives over there. I remember this because she accidentally blows up a gas station on the way, and it's treated like a non-event. All right, man. But yeah, she pulls into this small town. The old lady basically calls her a hussy. All the teenage boys love her. It's pretty standard stuff. Then I've got my like Ben Nye. Ben Nye light pink and hazelnut. We're gonna contour and highlight or attempt to with. But anywho, so she finds a place to stay for the night. She goes to like the bowling alley, which I guess is like apparently the only place where there's any sort of nightlife in town. Essentially gets almost sexually assaulted, and this big dude who doesn't talk much named Bob sort of rescues her and is sort of like the love interest for the movie or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, she tries to stab him with a fake knife, which is kind of funny, except for like it's also feels sort of, I don't know, scary. It's strange. Yeah, and apparently Bob, this waitress, I guess I forget her name. She's unpleasant. Has a crush on him, and so of course now hates Elvira. Also, serendipity, he runs the movie house. Yeah, she tries to kiss him, but like he just leaves. He's like shy or whatever. So anyway, we get to the reading of the will. Her nemesis is sort of like her uncle Vincent Talbot or whatever. And there's all these weird implications along the way. I'm gonna give it to you. Spoiler alert. If you're watching this, I assume you don't care about spoiler alerts. But yeah, I'm pretty sure her aunt was a witch. Okay, sorry, I couldn't talk and do that at the same time. But anyway, so she gets like this old house, and she also gets this recipe book that Uncle Vincent is very upset about. As you can imagine, it's not quite a recipe book, but yeah, he offers to buy it from her. She accepts, but then when he comes by to get it later, the dog she also inherited hides it. I guess he's like the dog's like the familiar or whatever. So that the uncle can't get it, and he's very upset about it. But yeah, throughout the whole movie, there's all these like weird, creepy scenes where like teenagers or other like male dudes are being like super creepy to her and like taking pictures and like whatever, or saying all sorts of creepy crap. So yeah, that's fun, I guess. I guess 88 was a different time. I don't know. Feels like it's kind of the same time sometimes. But eventually all the teenagers, including all the boys and the girls, come out, because there's only two genders in this movie, come out and help her, like, fix up the house and stuff. It's kind of sweet, even though parts are kind of creepy, so I don't know. And yeah, it's this massive rainbow house. Everything is painted different colors, and she loves it. And of course, all the neighbors hate it. You know, it's your standard sort of thing. Oh yeah, all the way. So this whole time, there's something in the town called the Morality Council, which is basically what you imagine it would be. A bunch of like sick in the muds being all like, people can't have fun. So yeah, the principal, they want to like try to kick her out of town. But they're like, well, she's gonna sell the house, she's leaving, so like, let's just let her leave on her own, right, and save us the trouble. Which seems to be the consensus, at least for now. She's trying to sell the house, she can't, so she tries to get a job in town for the time being so she can get some money. We get a whole, like, her looking for a job montage. She can't get a job anywhere, she's sort of been, like, it seems like blackballed in this little town. And then meanwhile, while she's out, all these goons break in, like seemingly hired by her uncle looking for the book, but the dog chases them out. And yeah, and apparently nobody will hire her because of the whole morality police have essentially told everyone not to, which is super, super shitty. One sec, I gotta put this in my face. I'll be back in a movie magic second. I'm gonna let this bake, cause it's hard to talk and I really want to sneeze if I keep talking. So, this is my drawer. Shh. I see you in a second. Alright, so now we cut to Uncle Vincent, who we find out is, surprise, surprise, a warlock, has a secret staircase. We see his altar or whatever, and he really wants that, like, Book of Shadows or whatever. And it's at that point that we learn that apparently there's some prophecy that the ruler of the night holds the book when the moon goes dark. So I guess there's like an eclipse coming up, and whoever holds it gets to like is the like ruler of the darkness or whatever. The details are not made super clear. Alright, so I've got... So I think I'm just gonna sort of like just map out a little cat eye shape before I put some shadow on. What is this? The NYX That's the Point, just sort of like liquid liner marker thing. Real fast. But yeah, and while Vincent's in his little like, I don't know, altar, shrine, whatever thing, he like taunts a dead witch, which I feel like is never a good idea, but that's just me, I suppose. Alright, this might take a second. Okay, for shadow, I think I'm going to use... I've got some of these palettes. I don't know if I've ever used them on this thing. From Juvia's Place. Their eyeshadows are super, super pigmented, and I'm a huge fan because I love color. So, what's this? This is the Zulu by Juvia's. And I'm going to be using... I'm not sure if the color has a name, but this, like, super deep purple here a little bit first. Alright, so yeah. Anyway, we cut back to Elvira. Apparently the Morality Council told all the teenagers that they'd get, like, kicked out or get in trouble if they, like, kept associating with her, which is bullshit, right? And so they all, like, shun her, which is super stupid. And of course she's, you know, sad about it. But then, like... So she's, like, putting on a thing, and then, she's obviously upset that the teenagers won't, you know, work with her or help her. But then she, like, threatens suicide, and I have to say that, like, don't do that. Just, like, don't do that. That's not the move ever, I feel like. Threatening suicide, so, yeah, so that kind of happens, just as a... I mean, it doesn't seem serious, but I feel like it does sort of make light of people who are dealing with, like, issues and things, and yeah, it's not ideal, say. And then, yeah, and then, like, it's very clear she's trying to manipulate them with this, like, suicide attempt, which is not cool, because she's, like, sobbing or whatever, and she, like... They all, like, the teenagers go to, like, comfort her and hug her, and then and when they agree to go, she's like, the tears go away, and she's like, okay, everything's fine now. Like, it's supposed to be funny. Not a super huge fan of that, I suppose. She does this, like, intense, like, raccoon cat eye, so I'm trying to go for it, man. I can't promise this is gonna turn out nice. Well, this will be interesting. Cool. Alright. Anyway, so back to the movie. But yeah, so the teenagers basically all have to, like, sneak out of their houses at night to go see her show, which, like, I'm not, like, opposed to on principle as a teenager who did, like, sneak out to go do stuff. But, I don't know. Also, just, like... It's not cool that she guilted them into it, is my problem. Oh, God. But yeah, anyway, so she's, like, at some, like, club or whatever, I think. I don't... Anyway, she's doing some sort of, like, flash dance imitation, right, where, and at the end, instead of, like, water, she gets doused with glitter, right? which is great. Like, big fan. But apparently, like, um, some of the morality police or their goons sort of like sneak in to this and catch wind of this, and yeah, it's not super great. Yeah, so like the morality police basically switch out her glitter for, and I kid you not, what seems to be like tar and feathering, which, first of all, I don't know, tar is like super hot. I don't know how you handle that. I don't know how she didn't get burned. But like, that's like super that's fucked, man. That's not, it's like, I don't know, I can't tell if that's like worse than blood or like, yeah, but like, yeah, so they're real nasty to her. It's not cool. Um, anyway, so we cut to Elvira at home. She's trying to cook out of her book, and accidentally make some sort of horrible monster. It tries to take a bite out of everyone at the table, which is kind of funny. The dog leads, I think Bob is with her at this point, to an attic, and they find like a box full of bones, which is concerning. But within it, she finds a note to like Elvira, and apparently her aunt was the mistress of the night. Her uncle's been trying to steal it from her this whole time, and it seems like he's trying to use this, or Elvira's lack of knowledge, as an opportunity. So yeah, Elvira's sort of onto the game now. But yeah, apparently, because the whole thing was Elvira was like an orphan who was raised at like an orphanage by nuns, which I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Is it? Let me know in the comments if you're watching this. But yeah, apparently she was given up to like hide her from the uncle so that he wouldn't try to like do something to her, because she's about to be like super powerful. It's kind of a cool storyline. I feel like my biggest problem I feel like so far with this movie is just like the writing could have been so much better. Like, I would have loved to have written this movie for Elvira. I feel like, I don't know, not to brag, but I feel like I would have done a better job, because it's like, it's fine, it's serviceable, it's a functional movie. It's, you know, Elvira really does carry it, for sure. But anyway, so Elvira starts looking for a spell for money. Everything's written in a language she doesn't understand. She, of course, picks the wrong one. And conjures, I don't know what I wrote here. She conjures something, but then, yeah, her and Bob, this is the point in the movie where they finally do it. Which is weird. I don't know, I guess fear turns people on sometimes. Anyway, so, Morality Club picnic, always such a good time, is the next scene. Okay, so this is still Juvia's palace, or Juvia's place. Eyeshadow palette. This is the Magic Mini by Juvia's. This is like the moon and sun opposites, but it's all like little mini versions. Super cute. I'm gonna mispronounce this. Ife over here. It's super like dark pigmented, like purple blue, and I think I'm gonna love that for the corners here. Let's do that real fast. But yes, anyway, so Elvira brings a pot, apparently of monster stew to the picnic. And everyone eats it, and I don't think this was on purpose, because she clearly doesn't understand the cookbook or whatever. But yeah, everybody gets like super, super horny, which is pretty hilarious. Including all of the people of the Morality Club. Vincent tries to sneak up on Elvira. He basically tries to like up the price, but like now like she knows what she's got, and she's, you know, clearly not gonna like give it up that easily. He's upset. And then we cut to like later on when I guess everything's worn off, and everyone's fighting about it at the Morality Council meeting about like what happened. And it's pretty funny. But yeah, so then they decide that they're gonna get rid of the problem by sending Elvira to jail, and they found like a almost long abandoned ordinance that apparently is still in effect for witchcraft. And so they put her in jail for witchcraft. Yeah, so that happens. This is the NYX eye marker. Yeah, I can't talk while I'm doing this, so hold up. Oh no. It's like running out. My nightmare. Alright, so this is like a crown eye marker here. This is running out too. Ugh. Alright, back to the NYX tiny guy. Alright, so I've got some like eyeshadow primer. That's black that I'm gonna use to fill some of this in. And then yeah, we're gonna fill it in with the black from this Blown Smoke ColourPop palette. And then this is just a NYX white little eyeliner for the underneath. Alright, we've got the Kimchi sort of like Thaler bronzer I'm gonna do for like shadow a bit here. Contouring. Anyway, so yeah, it seems like they're gonna burn Elvira at the stake. Which is a lot, man. Which is a lot. But yeah, anyway, while she's locked up, Vincent steals the book, of course. And he ties Bob up in the basement. But then the dog unties Bob. We cut to Elvira at the stake. They're all chanting "Burn the Witch." It's really horrifying and terrifying. Okay, one sec. I'm using the Trixie Mattel Back to the Fuchsia palette for the little bit of blush and highlight here. Can use the Cyber Babe. But yeah, so while she's tied up, she remembers that she's wearing like a magical ring. I guess she forgot about, which is helpful, I suppose. And then Uncle Vincent comes out. It's almost the lunar eclipse now. Elvira and the uncle have like a showdown, and he takes the ring. Everything looks lost. She has a giant machine gun, which is really hilarious, but sadly means nothing for this movie. Actually, for highlight, I'm gonna go to another Trixie Mattel palette. The what was this? Summer Love, the After School Special. But the machine gun does nothing. And then she uses her boobs to break a lock in a gate at one point. It's pretty great. But yeah, eventually there's this whole battle. Bob eventually gets free. Vincent breaks into her house. She gets the ring back and destroys him in this like sort of epic battle, which is pretty great. Very B-movie, very Elvira, right? And then she leaves the book to like basically burn up in like the house, which is an interesting choice. I don't know if it was setting it up for a sequel or what, but I don't know. But yeah, so then apparently she can't sell the house or get it repaired because insurance doesn't cover demons, which, alright. I would call that arson, but that's just me. A mom comes to her house. It looks really scary, but apparently it's to apologize, which is super unexpected and probably not like real life at all. But yeah, apparently now that her uncle's dead, she inherited his estate, so she can do her show in Vegas. Yay! So we get this like whole thing where she does a whole number as like her Vegas act, which is, I mean, it's pretty great, but it seems pretty long. It's called Here I Am, and yes, by the way, she raps, and it's something to see, man. It's something to see. Ends with her standard unpleasant dreams. And then yeah, and that's most of the movie. It's sort of like a weird. Oh yeah, then her and Bob are clearly together by the end. I guess it's a romantic comedy. It's sort of just like a comedy to me. But yeah, so I've finished talking about this movie. Oh, the only other thing I want to mention is Robert Redding, which apparently he died like during the production, I think, or the filming of this. And he like did all her wigs and like was a super like important artist and stylist. So and his name's in the credits, so I did want to mention him. If anyone wants to say anything else, please feel free to comment. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. I love Elvira and is a personal hero of mine, cultural legend. I'm gonna finish putting the rest of this on in a fast forward, and I'll be back with my full look, and let's do the final roundup. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to do a little eyebrow with this marker pen that I've been using while this dries. For my lips, I've got, it's like a crown, what is this, lip pencil, Fuego, and then like a dark red lipstick. I'm just going to throw it on, and then, yeah, I'll say hi real fast before I throw on the rest. Alright, I'm gonna wig and get dressed and see you in a second. Alright, so I'm feeling more like a goth Snooki, but I did my best, and yeah, alright, let's, ooh, this is a lot of wigs piled together. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm gonna give this movie, I guess, like 3 out of 5 boobs, but I'm gonna always give Elvira 10 out of 10, maybe even more, because she's a legend. I do feel like this movie didn't serve her completely. And that's, from everything I've read into the movie, it seems like nothing that has anything to do with a fault of hers. But yeah, Cassandra Peters, if you happen to watch this, I love you. You were an inspiration to me as a child. And you are the reason I do weird stuff now as an adult. So yeah, thank you so much for that. But yeah, happy spooky season, everybody. I hope you, are enjoying the look. I did what I could. Woo! Trying not to expose myself on YouTube. Have a wonderful spooky season. I'll see you next week with another, I'm excited about this next movie. It's a weird one. It is like an actual horror movie, but I had to pay homage to the Mistress of the Dark herself. Unpleasant dreams to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've gone this far. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!